Alright, so now what we want to do is increase the top two and the bottom two. So the ones that we just decreased, we want to increase. So we need to pick up the top two. So our first one here can go straight up to the next pin. And then the one right next to it can also go straight up. And then down here, can go down. And then here, we cannot bring that up because it's going to cross, so I'm going to put it on this pin right above it, just for now. And then I'll grab the bottom two and bring them up. And then I'll take these back over here. Okay. So we went from 6 to 8 pins now. And we're going to do some rows around. And we're also going to be adding our arms soon. So we'll do this first row around this area here. I'm just laying it down because I know it's hard to see with the head is like totally in the way. But it's like also kind of hard to put these bands on with it laying down. Yep, even after the adjustments I made, his nose pretty much ended up the same as my first one. Okay, so once you've gotten that on, go ahead and flip. The first one will be 2. Second one will be 2. Third one will be 4. And then 2. And 2. Same thing with the back. 2. 2. 4. 2, and then 2, push down, and now we're going to add our arms to this next row. So get your little skinny mini arms Ready? Hopefully you have 2 of them. Okay, so let's see. Now what we want to do is take our arm and we're going to go through the top. So I'm going to go through, basically I'm going to stick my hook through the entire top of the arm so that I've got my hook like that, and I'm going to pull through 2 bands. Trying not to catch it on anything. So you've got them like that, and we're just going to place them on these pins here. So the first one in the front and the first one in the back. So these 2 pins here. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'll grab my other arm and I'll go through the top portion in the arm, grab 2 bands, pull it through. Whoops. And then I'll place it on the bottom 2 pins. Just like that. Okay, and then we can lay the rest of the bands around. And those ones are already on, so I'm going to go to the back. Okay, so once you've placed all your bands around, go ahead and flip the bottom 4. Kind of sad, like I really wanted to get this finished today, but I think we're going to have to wrap it up soon for me because it's already 1:30 in the morning and I need to read still. But I'll have this done tomorrow at some point. there's still things we need to finish up the body, and I need to make a tail, and then a bow. So still got quite a bit left. I mean, we're almost finished, but we're almost finished, sort of. Okay. So we added our arms, and now we need to do 3 more rows around in this area here. So let's get started on that. Okay, so these are just regular rows around that we're going to repeat 3 times. And just lift your arms up when you're putting on the bands that go from here to here, because you don't want them to get caught underneath the design. So in this portion of the video, I'm now filming this during the day, and so you might hear a little bit more background noise because my son's in the room with me playing a game and he's got a cold, so you'll probably hear coughing. And then just like on this side, we want to lift the arm up when we go in that area. We'll take a couple of rows before the arms are out of the way. See, we'll just have to make do for now. Okay, so I've got that row on, and now I'm just going to flip the bottom 4. All the way around. Oh, that's the dryer. I couldn't wait till night to film this because I really want to have this video out tomorrow, which is Sunday tomorrow. Okay, so that was one. We need to do two more around this area. I think this is my third day into filming this tutorial. I'd love to do more loom designs, but they just take, for me, because I only have like certain time periods when I can film, it's just really hard to complete a project in like a good time frame. So like this is my third day working on this. Whereas Limigurumi, I can get those out in one sitting. Okay, so now let's flip our 4 bands beneath all the way around. And then push your bands down. What's this one here? Okay, we need to do one more row around before we do an increase in the body. I like how I put the ears on this time. They're a lot more stable, and I like how this one kind of flops over. It's kind of cute. Right, flip the bottom 4. Some furs in the way. Hope you guys are doing okay with him or her. I know it's a long process. Alright, so now we need to do an increase, and we're going to increase the top 2 and the bottom 2 pegs. So again, we need to lift up. So my first one in the front, I can just lift up the 2 bands and bring them up 1 pin. And then back here, for this one, I can also lift those 2 off of the pin and bring them up 1 pin. And then down here, let's see, I can also lift those up and bring them down. And then on this side, I'm going to have to put 2 back here for now, and then bring the bottom 2 up, and then replace the 2 back here, just so that they're not crossing. Okay, so now we need to do 4 rows around this area here. And then after this, after the 4 rows, we'll do a decrease again and start to close off his body. So we're getting there. And then at some point we'll need to add a little bit more stuffing, because we haven't stuffed his body yet, just his head. But I'll probably do that closer towards the end. So I'll stick with you guys. I'm not gonna, pause the video and go off camera for these 4 rows. I'll just do them because I have to do them anyways. But if you wanna just do it on your own, pause the video, whatever, then you need to do 4 rows around like this. Just plain rows with your fur, of course. And just remember to keep track of how many rows you've done. It's getting kind of awkward with him on the loom because he's so heavy. So once you've done that, we need to flip the bottom. So the first 2 pins will have 2 bands to flip. And then the next one will have 4. And then 4. And 4. And then the last 2 will have 2 bands. And then on the back, the first 2 will have 2. And then you'll have 4 here, 4 here, 4 here, and then 2 on the last 2. Okay, let's push your bands down as usual. Okay, so we need to do 3 more rows around. So I'm just going to mark that off. I did 1. Oops. Okay, so now we're going to flip the bottom 4. I think this would look really cool if you used like those 600 packs of like the Persian colors, just to give it some shimmer. Be pretty. I also think it would be really super if Rainbow Loom somehow figured out a way to come out with like a band that was like really, really glittery. Not like the limited edition style, but more like the opaque bands, but with like tons of glitter in them. That would be so pretty because I love glitter. Okay, so that was row 2, so we need to do 2 more. Oops. I forgot to put a band-aid on my wrist before I started filming this. I took it off so my wrist could air out or like breathe, because the other day I pretty much almost ripped out my little piercing that I have in my wrist, and it got like super infected, and so it's just, you know, been healing and stuff, but it's not pretty. Like, it still doesn't look good. So I've just been keeping a band-aid on it when I film so that you guys don't have to see that. I mean, it's not like horrible looking, but still distracting. But I was so sad. I thought I was gonna lose it because I've had it for 4 years. Although one person said my piercing was disturbing. Thought that was funny. Okay, let's put the bottom 4. Now, if you are planning on making a bow for your bunny, we are going to need our loom again, probably set up in the 2 loom setup. We didn't do it in the beginning because that was something I kind of decided to add after when I was thinking about it more. So, but of course it's optional, so you don't have to stick around for that part once we get there. But I think it would be cute to add. little something. It's a little bit plain right now. Okay, so that was 3 and we need to do one more. Or maybe I'll just make it a separate video for the bow. Yeah, I'll probably do that. We're almost there, guys. Almost there. Okay, so let's flip our bottom 4. Oops, what am I doing? Push down. Like flopping this bunny around everywhere, confusing him. Okay, so now we need to decrease the top 2 and the bottom 2. And so we'll just pick up our top 2 bands, or I mean our 4 bands on the top pin, bring them down 1. And then flip the bottom 4. And do the same thing on the other side. Pick up your 4 bands, bring them down. And flip over the bottom 4. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing on the bottom here. So I'll pick up my 4 bands and bring them up 1. And then I'll flip the bottom 4. And then over here, pick them up, bring them up. And flip the the bottom 4. Push down. So now we're going to do 2 rows around in this area, and then after that we'll add our legs. Let's see, I'm going to add a little bit more stuffing in there. So if you want to do that, grab your polyfil. Some more pink. All right, so let's start with our 2 rows around. I'm getting excited, we're almost done. I do like his arms better too. They were much too big on the other one, just too bulky. Okay, let's flip our bottom 4. Push down your bands. Let's do another row around. stay. Doesn't want to stay. Okay, flip your bottom 4. Ooh, oops. Push down. Now we're going to add our legs to this. Alright, so grab your legs, and the same thing with what we did with the arms is we're going to go through the top of the leg. It's a little bit wider, so, and then we'll take 2 bands and bring it through. Just like that. And then we'll just place it on the same area, the same pins that we put our arms. So from here, you can't see because his body's in line. So from here to the one right behind it, or next to it. Here. And we'll do the same thing, the other leg. Bring your bands through. Careful not to get any other bands pulled through there. And, oh boy, this is really hard to deal on camera. Okay. I'm gonna put it on the opposite side. So here, and then so heavy here. Yeah. So now he's doing the splits. Okay, and then we're just going to continue with our rows. We're going to fill in the spots that we didn't put on yet. And after we flip these, if you want to add a little bit more stuffing, you can do that. Because we're going to do one more row after this and then close him up. Sorry, trying to add another one, extra one on there. Okay, so go ahead and flip the bottom 4. And then push down. And add a little bit of stuffing in his body, just a little bit more. Remember to kind of push him off to the sides because you've got an increase there where the belly is supposed to be. Okay, so let's do our last row around. It's getting harder and harder to put bands on this thing. Now remember, when you place on the sides, you're going to have to lift the legs up to do that. This one's going to be difficult to get around. Okay, so lift it up. Just kind of wrap it around to the other pin. Alright, go ahead and flip the bottom 4. Down. Pull the legs out of that band if it's stuck in there. Okay, So here comes the fun part. We can close this guy off, but we're gonna have to do it ever so carefully. Okay, so I just moved my camera up so you can see this a little bit better. I don't know if you will be able to, but we're gonna be closing this off just the same way that we did with the legs and the arms, where we pick up one side and then go to the opposite side and slide them through. So you can either do it that way. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, go ahead and just thread up a bunch of bands together. I would use double bands to do that and just like make them into slip knots and make a long chain like this, and then bring it through each pin around. But if you do it the way I'm doing it, you're going to get a cleaner close off. So that's why I'm taking the risk and doing it this way. So we're going to pick up our first set of bands on my right. And I'm going to go over, I'm going to have to go under the foot, the leg, grab my next set of bands, and then slide those under. The hardest part is where the legs are. Okay. I'm going to go back over onto my right and make sure that you're holding your bands down on the other pegs. Grab my next set and slide those under. Be very careful with this part because you do not want to lose your design after all this hard work. Okay, slide under. Just go nice and slow. Oh, this part is scary. So I'm just taking my time. It's not too bad, it's just very, there's just things everywhere in the way. I'm just going back and forth, back and forth. Okay, and then I'll pick up the last one here. And I'll grab two bands, pull it through, tie it into a slip knot. And then we can go ahead and hide our bands into the body. Okay, so now let's pull out all of his fur. He's got a lot to pull out. I'm just gonna move my camera back down. We can just go and pull out these little enamel bobbers. I hope you guys got yours closed up okay. As long as you take your time, do it nice and slow, Keep your fingers near your hook, tip of your hook. You guys should be fine. So there's lots of these little furs that we need to pull out. All along the back as well, so don't forget those. When I pull these out, I try to get all 4 loops in my hook. That way they're fairly even, like the loops are fairly even. Of course, there's some that are look bigger than the others, but that's okay. Okay, so here's part of your bunny. We still need to add his little tail. And you can sit him up, lean him against something. So that's why his legs are like this, so he can like lean up against, like, I don't know, a shelf or something, wherever you decide to put him. So I think he's cute. He's looking good. So let's make a tail for him, and then we'll work on a bow. Alright, so for a tail, it's pretty much going to be how we did the arms, how we started off the arms. So we will be on a total of 6 pins. And we're going to still be doing the fur because we want our tail to be fluffy. So go ahead, and our first one that we're going to lay is going to be a double looped band, and then you're going to make them into the figure 8. And our next one will just be regular 2 bands, the figure 8. Next one will be 2 bands, the figure 8. Next one will be a double looped. Going across. And then the last 2 will be regular double bands. Okay, now we need to layer X's. I'm just going to use double bands on these. So we're going to cross these as well. So from here to here. And then from here to here. And then fill in this spot here. Okay, push your bands down because we're going to need to go around. It's just regular bands on top. We don't need to do the figure 8. We're still keeping our double looped band here to here. And then just regular here to here. Oops. This one we double looped. And then these two will be the regular double bands. There's one. Two. Okay, let's go ahead and flip over. So on this first pin here, we're going to flip over our figure 8 band, and then we have 4 more bands. Over here, we're going to flip over one figure 8 band, another one, and then 4. Over here, a figure 8 band, and then 4. So basically we want to end up with 4 all the way around. Here will be a figure 8 band, and then 4. 2 figure 8 bands on this one, and 4. And then 1 figure 8 band and 4. Push down. Let's just go around this area. Just going to use regular bands. I'm not going to do the double looped anymore. Okay, now we just have 4 that we need to flip over all the way around. Push down. Trying to think, because I didn't make this up. I didn't make one for the other bunny, so I'm just kind of making it up. Okay, so let's do one more row around. Okay, that's the bottom 4. I'm just going to let this tail go down, just because to me it looks like it's got a better shape than if we were to move it, pull it up. Okay, push down. Let's do a row around, but we're going to go back to our double looped bands like we did in the beginning. So one here, and then the next 2 will be regular. The next one from here to here is going to be a double looped band. And then these 2 here will be double bands. Okay, let's flip the bottom 4. Push down. I'm going to put a teeny weensy bit of polyfil in there. You don't have to. I just want to see if that foofs up my little tail. That's way too much. Just take a little bit. Probably not even going to make a difference. Okay. So now I'm just going to pick up all of these bands off of my pins. So I'm just going to gather them all up. Just going to go around. And I got one more. Okay, and then we're just going to slide 2 bands through. Carefully, this is really squishy. They are really squished together. And then once you've got them on, then just tie your slip knot. Squeeze your little ball together, pull out your little hairs. Then we'll need to tuck in the tail, the loose end. Looks kind of silly. I'm even just loosening up some of these stitches here. So just go in, bring through your tying off band. Okay, so there's our tail. The top part is going to be the part that has the fur. So that's the part that's going to show, and then we're going to attach from this part here. Okay, grab your rabbit, and now we're going to do a little tail attachment surgery. So here's where we closed off this little tail. Got some polyfil sticking through. You can see the center right there. We're going to go through the center and come out one end. I'm just going through like a little tiny set of bands. I'm going to flip it over, place it on your, position it where you want it to be on your rabbit, and then I'm going to go through some of the body on one side. I'm going to do this on both sides, so doing the left side first. So I went through that one part in the tail and then one part in the body on my left side. I'm going to take 2 bands and I'm going to bring those through all of the loops on my hook. Be careful because you might accidentally snag a couple of bands. And then once you've done that, just tie that into a slip knot. Should have done my tail a different color so you guys could have seen this a little better. Okay, now I'm going to attach the other side. So I'm going to go in through the middle again, come out the other side. Then I'm going to pick a spot, the body right next to it. Make sure you're going through the actual bands in the body and not just the fur. Otherwise you won't have like a good secure hold. Okay, I think that one's still a little too far away. And then grab 2 more bands and bring those through. You might have to maneuver your hook to make sure that you're not catching on anything, which I think I am. There we go. And then just tie your slip knot. Okay, and then you can just hide these bands in the body. You don't even have to hide them that well because they can act as a part of the fur on the body. So that's one good thing about adding fur to your animals is that, well, not only do they make them cute, but it also hides like if you have any flaws in your design. I'm just pushing the tail down. So here's his little tail. Yay, he's so cute. Okay, and I am going to do a separate video for the bow. So if you decide that you want to make the bow, then you can watch this next video. So you can either attach it on one ear or like in the little neck. So if you want to add a bow, then we can move on to the next video. But if not, I thank you guys so much for watching. I know this was a really, really long tutorial, but I think he's worth it. He's really cute, and he'll add be a cute little decoration if that's what you do with your loom designs, or you can give it to your child. I don't know. I don't give him to my 3-year-old because he destroys them, like he stretches them and all that stuff, and I'm like, no, all my hard work has been ruined. So I just really use it like as decor, I guess. I don't know. But thank you guys so much, and if you have made him or her, I would love to see yours. If you want to share with me on Instagram at Christina.Davis, that would be great, and I would greatly appreciate it. And I've also got a new Facebook that I made, so if you want to like my Facebook page, I'll also have my updates and sneak peeks on that page as well. It's under Craft Muse. And let's see what else. I look forward to more tutorials with you guys. I'm having a lot of fun doing this, and I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I can't wait to see some of your renditions of this little bunny guy. Right, thank you and have a great day, and I will see you guys who are making the bow in the next video. Bye guys.